Many men believe they already understand which positions women enjoy the most, but the reality is often very different. In fact, a couple of the positions that appear most popular online are quietly disliked by many women. Curious. Welcome to. What I'm about to share is based on large peer-reviewed studies along with insights gathered from clinical work with thousands of women. We're going to explore 5 positions women around the world often say they enjoy the most, and we'll also talk about 2 that look appealing in theory, but frequently disappoint in real life. More importantly, you'll learn the physical reasons behind these preferences so you can adjust naturally in the moment. By the end, you won't just know what to try. You'll understand why certain things work and how simple changes in angle, rhythm, and touch can make the experience feel tailored to her body rather than following a rigid script. Before we dive into the list, there's one key idea that helps everything make sense. For many women, pleasure tends to depend on 2 main factors. First is steady, comfortable blood flow to sensitive tissues. Second is reliable external stimulation happening at the same time as internal movement. Research from multiple large studies consistently shows that only a smaller percentage of women reach climax through internal movement alone. Most either need or strongly prefer some form of external stimulation as well. A large number also say that when both internal and external sensations happen together, the experience becomes easier, stronger, and more satisfying. Because of this, positions that allow easy contact near the front of the pelvis while maintaining a comfortable internal angle often end up being favorites for many couples. Let's begin counting down 5 positions that women frequently appreciate based on surveys and clinical experience. After that, we'll discuss 2 commonly hyped positions that often look impressive but don't always feel great in practice. At number 5 is side lying, commonly known as spooning. Curious. This quiet and relaxed position is often underestimated, yet it can be surprisingly effective. Because both partners lie on their sides facing the same direction, it naturally creates a calm, low-effort rhythm. It also allows easy access for affectionate contact, kissing along the neck, gentle touch, and closeness. The alignment of the hips tends to create a smoother internal angle, which means movement often feels softer and more gliding rather than abrupt. Size. This reduces the chances of uncomfortable bumps that can quickly break the mood. One simple trick can make this position even better. Placing a small pillow or folded towel between the knees helps keep the hips aligned. Instead of using long thrusting movements, keeping the motion short and rhythmic allows the base of the pelvis to stay connected to the front of her body, maintaining consistent external contact. Curious. Many women say this type of steady pressure feels better than large, repetitive strokes. Think gentle rocking rather than exaggerated movement. The 4th position that consistently receives positive feedback is seated face-to-face, sometimes called the seated lap position. One partner sits on a stable surface like the edge of a bed or a sturdy chair, while the other straddles facing them. Excited. Because both partners remain upright, eye contact becomes natural, and the chest-to-chest contact can create a strong feeling of intimacy and relaxation. At number 5 is side lying, commonly known as spooning. This quiet and relaxed position is often underestimated, yet it can be surprisingly effective. Curious. Because both partners lie on their sides facing the same direction, it naturally creates a calm, low-effort rhythm. It also allows easy access for affectionate contact, kissing along the neck, gentle touch, and closeness. The alignment of the hips tends to create a smoother internal angle, which means movement often feels softer and more gliding rather than abrupt. Size. This reduces the chances of uncomfortable bumps that can quickly break the mood. In this setup, the seated partner often stays relatively still while the other controls the rhythm, depth, and angle. Since both sets of hands are free, it's easy to add external touch without interrupting the moment. Instead of focusing on pulling away and pushing forward, a slow rolling motion tends to work best. Curious. Keeping the pelvis gently pressed forward maintains continuous contact at the front, which many women say enhances sensation. In third place is a classic face-to-face lying position with the penetrating partner above. Some people dismiss this as basic, but when done thoughtfully, it can be extremely satisfying. Thoughtful. The closeness allows for kissing, shared breathing, and reading subtle facial cues, all of which help the body relax. When the nervous system feels calm, the body becomes far more responsive to sensation. In third place is a classic face-to-face lying position with the penetrating partner above. Some people dismiss this as basic, but when done thoughtfully, it can be extremely satisfying. Thoughtful. The closeness allows for kissing, shared breathing, and reading subtle facial cues, all of which help the body relax. Size. When the nervous system feels calm, the body becomes far more responsive to sensation. A small adjustment can make a big difference here. Placing a pillow beneath the receiving partner's hips slightly tilts the pelvis. This change can align internal contact with the areas that feel most sensitive, while also allowing the pelvis to stay pressed forward rather than constantly moving away. Shortening the movement range and adding a gentle forward press at the end of each motion helps maintain steady sensation rather than letting it fade between movements. Curious. If more intensity is desired, adjusting the angle with a folded towel is usually more effective than increasing force. The second most appreciated position is woman on top, face to face. The main advantage here is control. She can determine the angle, depth, rhythm, and pace, and she can adjust them instantly if something doesn't feel right. Thoughtful. Many women naturally shift their hips or change their movement pattern during penetration to find the most pleasies. Urable contact points. This position makes those small adjustments effortless. It also keeps the hands free, allowing for external stimulation if desired. Instead of large up and down motions, circular movements or gentle rocking often create more consistent sensation. If her legs begin to tire, she can shift her weight slightly or adjust her knee placement without losing the rhythm or connection. Thoughtful. The position that frequently ranks highest in multiple studies is rear entry, either on hands and knees or with the chest supported. However, there's an important detail. When done without attention, this position can sometimes feel too deep or rushed, but when the angle and pace are adjusted thoughtfully, many couples find it extremely enjoyable. The position that frequently ranks highest in multiple studies is rear entry, either on hands and knees or with the chest supported. However, there is an important detail. When done without attention, this position can sometimes feel too deep or rushed. But when the angle and pace are adjusted thoughtfully, many couples find it extremely enjoyable. Alignment is key here. Bringing the knees slightly closer together and tilting the hips forward can change the internal angle in a way that feels much more comfortable. Slower rolling movement instead of rapid thrusting also makes a huge difference. Adding consistent contact at the front of the pelvis can restore the balance of sensations that many women prefer. A pillow beneath the hips can help fine-tune the angle and create a smoother, more controlled motion. Thoughtful. Now let's talk honestly about two positions that many women report disliking, even though they often look appealing in movies or online. The first is the fully standing shower scenario often shown in films. It may appear dramatic and romantic, but real-world physics tends to work against it. Slippery surfaces reduce stability, running water washes away natural lubrication, and maintaining the right angle becomes difficult. Chuckles. External contact is also nearly impossible to keep consistent. If you like the atmosphere of a shower setting, a better approach is stepping slightly out of the direct water or switching to a seated version where balance and comfort improve dramatically. The second commonly disliked position involves extreme flexibility, where the legs are pushed far upward toward the shoulders. While it might look impressive, it can place significant strain on the hips and lower back. Size. For many women, this stretch feels uncomfortable or overly intense. If you want a similar openness without the strain, placing a pillow under the tailbone reduces the hip angle and makes the position far more comfortable while maintaining closeness. At this point, you might wonder whether everything comes down to one area near the front of the pelvis. Curious. Not entirely, but acknowledging its role explains a lot. Many studies show that while some women reach climax from internal movement alone, a larger group either needs or prefers simultaneous external stimulation. When both sensations occur together, Women frequently describe the experience as stronger, fuller, and easier to reach. That leads to a simple guideline. Choose positions that make contact at the front of the pelvis easy and consistent, and then adjust depth, speed, and angle afterward. Thoughtful. If those priorities are reversed, focusing first on intensity while sensation fades at the front, the experience can quickly lose momentum. That leads to a simple guideline. Choose positions that make contact at the front of the pelvis easy and consistent, and then adjust depth, speed, and angle afterward. Thoughtful. If those priorities are reversed, focusing first on intensity while sensation fades at the front, the experience can quickly lose momentum. A few practical habits can help maintain steady sensation regardless of the position. Start by breathing together for the first half minute. Exhales. Shared breathing helps relax the body and allows sensation to register more clearly. Relaxed muscles respond more strongly than tense ones. Keep movements smaller and more deliberate. Many women say sensation fades when motion becomes large and repetitive. Curious. Shorter movements help maintain continuous pressure where it matters most. Use support when needed. Pillows under the hips or between the knees are not compromises. They're tools that improve alignment and comfort. Thoughtful. Small changes in tilt can dramatically affect how movement feels. Maintaining consistent contact with one hand at the front can also make a major difference. Whether it's your hand, her hand, or another gentle aid, this steady contact often separates almost there from full satisfaction. Tempo matters as well. Starting slower and maintaining steady contact allows sensation to build naturally. Once the body clearly responds, changes in depth or speed can be added without disrupting the experience. Thoughtful. Finally, it's important to remember that surveys about favorite positions only tell part of the story. What many women truly appreciate is any position that allows them to adjust angles easily and maintain consistent contact without strain. Curious. Positions themselves are simply frameworks. The real magic happens in the small adjustments made within them. The most satisfying experiences rarely come from inventing a complicated new pose. Instead, they come from paying attention to subtle signals and making small changes, raising the hips slightly, shortening the motion, or maintaining steadier contact. Thoughtful. A simple approach many couples find effective starts with a face-to-face position and gentle movements. If she wants more control, switching to woman on top allows her to set the rhythm. If deeper internal sensation is desired, transitioning to rear entry while adjusting the angle with a pillow can help. Curious. And if the goal is a calm, connected finish, sliding into a side-lying position often creates a relaxed ending where breathing and closeness come naturally. The idea connecting all of this is not a secret trick. It's a principle. Comfortable alignment, adjustable angles, and movement that maintains sensation rather than constantly resetting it. Thoughtful research supports it, and many women describe it when they openly talk about what feels best. If you found this discussion helpful, consider subscribing to and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Sincere. I read them and always appreciate the conversation. Thanks for watching and take care.